boy, do we got a lot going on, from measles outbreak and the states that it's currently affecting to yet again another dangerous weekend. And I'm talking about large hail, dangerous winds, tornadoes that's going to be threatening the entire eastern side of the United States. And this happens as fires rage and spread across Carolinas as central U.S. braces for yet another crazy storm. In Texas, I'm going to tell you how that flood threat is actually shifting up towards Louisiana. And have you heard about this? The rabbit fever surge getting worse, and it can affect humans. Got warnings floating around for 72-hour preparedness as threats apparently are emerging. And the latest on huge earthquakes, 7.7, causing mass devastation. News and awareness that affects you coming right up. My name is Cohen here at Riverside Homestead, and if you're brand new here, welcome. If you guys are into prepping tips, emergency preparedness, and most of all, news and awareness, stuff that you want to know about, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. All right, folks, we've got a lot to cover. A lot of stuff that's happening right now. A little bit of catch up because I've been traveling across the country. So let's rattle through this. And before we get going, if you guys appreciate these news awareness updates, please start this off with a thumbs up as it helps this information get out to a lot more folks. Now, I know a lot of you guys have heard about this measles stuff, and some of us think it's a big thing, some of us don't. But the most important thing I can tell you is where it's being confirmed in the states that are affected. That way you guys know whether you want to be on guard or not. So let's check this out.
We turn now to the measles, and we're getting new information about a person who traveled on an Amtrak train while they were apparently contagious as another state reports an outbreak. The CDC now says there were 378 confirmed cases in 17 states through March 20th. Morgan Norwood is here with more on that. Morgan, good morning.
Wait, good morning. Yes, health officials are tracking a rare breakthrough case of the measles in a fully vaccinated person that they say traveled one of the busiest train routes in the country. And this morning, we know Amtrak is reaching out to passengers who may have been exposed. Let's talk timeline for a second, because we know the patient from Minnesota had recently traveled overseas and then boarded the Northeast Regional 175 train from New York City to D.C. last week, visiting multiple locations before then showing up at an urgent care 4 days later. Now, experts say these breakthrough infections are rare, pretty uncommon, but vaccination reduces the risk of spreading the virus and severe illness.
What's your guys' thoughts on that? Let me just hard pause here real quick. Put it in the comments. Do you think that this is a gimmick to get people to get more vaccinations? Or do you think that people should be vaccinated against the measles all of a sudden because of this odd outbreak that's now starting to spread across the United States? We got a map coming right up.
Vaccine is 97% effective, and most people who are vaccinated are protected. But remember, the measles virus, extremely contagious. It can actually linger in the air for up to 2 hours and infects 90% of unvaccinated people exposed. Now let's zoom out here, because this case comes as the measles numbers climb nationwide. We're tracking a new outbreak in Ohio where 10 unvaccinated people have tested positive. Health officials there this morning urging parents to vaccinate their children. But as for that D.C. travel alert, officials want anyone with symptoms to, of course, stay home, call ahead, and notify public health officials before heading to the ER or doctor's office. Rebecca?
Important advice. Okay, Morgan, thank you.
So like I said, tell me down in the comments. I want to know how many of you folks out there think that this is a really big deal. I mean, if it's in the air and you got a 90% chance of getting it, as what they say, that doesn't sound good. But who really has a lot of trust in this department of getting what they say that you need to get these days? That's another question. Now, this is the map right here. You can see all of the states that are currently affected and confirmed cases. So if you're in one of those states and you're concerned about this, I guess it's good to know. Now, before I get to the rabbit fever, I want to tell you a little bit about this weather that's coming this weekend, because it could catch some people off guard. We've been getting weather cycles, crazy tornadoes, snowstorms, fire danger, all kinds of stuff happening. And a lot of you guys putting in the comments are saying this is not normal. This is definitely not normal. And a lot of you put reasons why you think it's happening. So if that's you, put it down in the comments, spread your opinion. But this is the crazy stuff that we got coming this weekend.
All ingredients are in place to support another potential severe weather event Sunday into Monday. Now, a few severe storms may develop Saturday night across the Plains and Mississippi Valley, with large hail as the main threat. But the main show arrives late Sunday. Damaging winds, large hail, and a few strong tornadoes will be possible, especially in the area shaded in red. Rain and storms will be ongoing Sunday morning, but the chance for severe weather really ramps up Sunday evening into Sunday night. So make sure you have a way to get warnings while you are sleeping. The severe threat shifts to New England down to the Gulf Coast on Monday as the line of storms pushes toward the East Coast.
Doesn't this stuff always come while you're sleeping? It's never convenient at all. But anyway, I know a lot of you guys have some preferred weather people. I know I watch Ryan Hall, y'all, when there's something crazy that's coming through, because Ryan Hall, y'all, is usually on top of it if you guys need to follow someone that's gonna give you some accurate, really up-to-date type of information. But we're talking about large hail, damaging winds, tornadoes, and this is all at the same time that we're dealing with fires. Right here on this headline, fires rage spread across Carolinas as central U.S. braces for severe weekend weather. And if you're in those parts, you guys want to be paying attention to the red flag warnings and wind advisories, because that will take this thing to a whole new level. I mean, right here it says, through the weekend, forecasters say over 100 million people are at risk of severe weather, from the torrential rains and possible tornadoes in the Plains region to hail and high winds in the Mississippi Valley. And as far as the fires, saying wildfires rage in the Carolinas. In North Carolina, the wildfires continue to spread in parts of the state ravaged by Hurricane Helene about 6 months ago. The largest of the blazes, the Black Rock Cove Complex fire, and the highest priority fire in the U.S., leading surrounding states to deploy resources to assist containing it. Just to summarize, we've got northwest of Columbus, the Deep Woods fire grew to almost 4,000 acres and was 30% contained. South Carolina, 2 large wildfires have torched 16 square miles of land and continued to grow in recent days. On Friday, forecasters warned of continued high winds and dry conditions in the region. So this is not good. High winds, this thing's going to take off. They're saying weather conditions tomorrow are a concern for the increased fire activity, as relative humidity is expected to fall to 23%, and the wind gusts could reach nearly 30 miles an hour, said the South Carolina Forestry Commission. So look, as I always say, we hope for things to get better, but in this case, it's not letting up. Now, I need to tell you about the rabbit fever, but there's one other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, because I know a lot of you folks are in Texas and have been under the flood warning. But no, what I'm reading right now, the Texas flood threat is shifting north toward Louisiana by Friday. So regarding to Texas, you could be out of the woods on that one. But devastating flooding hit the Rio Grande Valley on Thursday after repeated rounds of thunderstorms dumped as much as a foot of rain in less than 48 hours. So Texas, keep an eye. Louisiana, watch out. Now, this one is new to me. I didn't know that there was a big concern over rabbit fever. Now get this, because there is a threat to humans. It says officials issued an urgent warning amid surge of rabbit fever cases. Now we gotta worry about rabbit fever? Seriously, what next? A new and concerning trend of infectious disease has emerged across the US. Yet again, another one. With cases of tularemia, this is what it kind of looks like. Doesn't look good, and it kind of almost reminds me of measles, I guess, but probably not something that you want across your body. Commonly known as rabbit fever. Have any of you guys heard of rabbit fever? Put it in the comments if so. For me, first time ever. Having a significant increase over the last 11-year period with some kind of new heightened surge. They're saying in January, the U.S. Center of Disease Control and Prevention reported a 56% surge of this tularemia cases between 2011 and 2022. We're talking about 47 states documenting a total of 2,462 infections. Now they're saying, like with a lot of other things, children ages 5 to 9 and older men between 65 and 84 years old face the highest risk. Now this can be affected in like 50 kinds of animals and is kind of like a flu-like symptom with apparently some weird skin stuff. Now, the reason I bring this up is because this can be a human threat. And the crazy thing is it's traveled through mostly insects, including, but not as much, mosquitoes, right? Ticks, some flies. Now they're warning temperatures expand tick habitats and lengthen their activity season, creating ideal conditions for the illness such as tularemia. And that's one of the big reasons why this thing is flourishing. They're saying, and it's mirroring the increased spread of other vector-borne diseases. And Canada, watch out. They're saying a number of Canadians are getting sick from this tick-borne pathogen, with previous rare infections beginning to appear as well. And it's a lot bigger deal because they're saying, on the whole, vector-borne disease represents a significant global health threat, accounting for 17% of all infectious diseases and causing more than 700,000 deaths annually. And they're listing right here ticks, mosquito populations, and I also read some kind of fly. So, we got the bird flu, right? Which they're making a huge deal out of the bird flu. And for that, they're knocking off all of our poultry, even saying it's accounted for a lot of our issues with eggs recently. But I figured you guys should probably know about that because that's another wild one that I've never heard of. And you never know, it could be the next big bird flu. But along the same lines of being prepared, another big buzz right now is with this emerging threats. They're saying there's emerging threats and people need to be prepared for 72 hours. That means prepped. Like, you got to be self-sufficient for 72 hours. Starting off in Europe, they're saying that emerging threats mean people should stockpile enough supplies for 72 hours, and this is due to emerging threats. So that's the question. Are you guys prepped for 72 hours? Do you have food provisions, water provisions? Right now, Europe is being heavily pushed to prep for at least 72 hours. They're saying the European Union advised citizens to stockpile 72 hours of supplies for potential crisis. It's part of a wider strategy to enhance Europe's response to emergency threats. Experts advise stockpiling supplies to last much longer than 72 hours. So what do they know that we don't know? It must be something because there's other countries over there that are doing the same thing. So if I were you, I'd play it safe. It's better to be ready than trying to get ready. And it might not be some crazy war type style of threat, but I can say we've got enough threats of our own regarding weather, tornadoes, fires, hurricanes, and you name it. So with that, if you guys haven't already subscribed, make sure the subscribe button's on and the notification bell is clicked because I'm gonna do a special prepping essential video coming up. I know a lot of you guys out there want to be prepped, maybe don't know where to start, and we're gonna help you out with that. Another thing huge in the news and another reason why you should be ready, you never know when this type of stuff's gonna happen, but some of you may know 7.7 magnitude earthquake. Check this out. That right there looks like a huge skyscraper hotel or something. They're saying a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake turned high-rise buildings into rubble and sent some people rushing out of their homes in Myanmar and Thailand on Friday. Can you imagine if we had a 7.7 here in the United States? I don't think it's far off. I feel like we're going to experience another monster quake or even some kind of volcano event here before long. And people need to pay attention to these places that are experiencing this because I'm pretty sure our ticket's gonna come up one of these days. They say at least 144 people have been offed and 730 people injured in this Myanmar. The head of the country's military junta said on Friday, and they've already been warned that that toll is going to rise. So you can see kind of the region that the powerful earthquake jolted just kind of northwest of Bangkok. And I'm saying, some of these huge sky-rise buildings were left to just a pile of rubble. Here's another map of kind of the affected area. In quotes, the person said, "I've never experienced anything like this before. Our town looks like a collapsed city," he told news agencies, estimating that about a fifth of the buildings had been destroyed. 7.7, folks. Look, if it's not an earthquake, it's gonna be something. And it's good to be prepared and ready. So do yourself a favor, up your preparedness game, because I'm sure we're gonna have a pretty wild ride this year. It's only Friday and I've got a lot to share with you this weekend. So make sure the bell's on, got a lot more coming down the pipe. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you on the next one.